Okay, fine. So LabVIEW is also one of the part where you can work on hardware interface and your algorithm developments. But especially for RF related, you can go with a communication design suite. So communication design suite will helps you to completely work on RF items only. So because that particular tool has been developed for RF applications, because what are all the algorithms or different uh, types of frameworks you need to work on. It can be any digital communication platforms, or it can be any of your LTE frameworks or your wireless standards frameworks. If you want to work on or you want to test with, so you'll have a what to say, a ready to work lab works or carry your experiments. It is readily available, so you can directly start your LTE framework test and you can move on. So these are all almost, what I can say it is, these are all almost 4 years old which it is there. So the same tool, because LTE is a 4G one. Do you understand what do I say here? Because so far whatever we have seen, cellular networks. We have seen our cellular networks, how these elements we have 5G standards and one. So VA solutions. I'll tell you how VA solutions are working in this platform, how we do it. So actually, VA Solutions is an alliance partner. Often we work very closely for the post-sale activities. So we work in industry as well as we work in academy. So in industries, we collaborate with the DRDOs, and we work with several private firms for their product developments, for their application development, and for their test systems developments. So we work with them. When comes to academic, we'll be collaborating with them for their curriculum, and we'll be collaborating with them for their training activities, value-added courses, internships, and their students' projects. To the several extent, the faculty PhD works also we are assisting. So these are all where they have already they set up with LabVIEW Academy or LabVIEW infrastructures where they have in their college. So college already have LabVIEW, and they have hardwares, DAC systems. These places they are going with faculty research work, students research work, student projects they are doing for many colleges in South India. We are conducting workshops. We are planning for trainings. Recent trends, concepts, IoTs, your 5G tests, AI, machine learnings. So recent varieties of trainings variants we have. So these are all the basic platforms where we work with very more closely with the academy and industry. So where for the automated test equipments, this on military product supports on these are the two majorly for industries, because for DODOs, most of the projects where we do, they're all for the military standards. So for their supports there, and these ATEs in the sense for a test bed from a private firm. So what we do with this, and embedded systems, and this wire and wireless communications. So these are also there in academic. So where they want to do some embedded projects, so where they want to have a hands-on work, and wireless communications where we use with USRP modules and SDR, software-defined radios we use with it. So now when we go for 5G, can anyone tell the 5G is possible? So is it possible to do? Because they are saying about we can work with a download speed of 4 Gbps per second. So is it possible? Can we work with that, right? Because so far we are getting only up to 2 Mbps per second. So when we try to work with, Or maximum when we are trying to use our mobile phones will show of 1.2 MB per second of a download when we are viewing any videos in our YouTube. So is there any possible that we can go in GBBS of download rate? Is it possible to work with that high speed uh, right now in the market? Excuse me, anybody's there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So am I audible to all?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Can you please let me know whether this 5G is real? Can it be bring into reality how we have 4G now? Can we get into 5G now? Is it possible?
Currently, I'm not aware of that clearly, sir. Having doubt, more doubt.
Okay. Okay. Anywhere in world we have 5G now? The 5G got introduced. Anybody is using?
Not sure, sir.
Okay. Fine. So the answer is very simple. Yes, 5G technology is already out. So 5G people they started using this. Very few places they have, which means for example if you take uh, uh, England, so only in London, only in very what to say, very small area has been covered by 5G. Because when you go with Australia, only Sydney or Melbourne will have this 5G access. When you go to US, you'll get only in New York, or you have in California or in Los Angeles alone, you'll have this setup there. So when you go for South Korea, only in Seoul you have it. So place you have Riyadh or your Dubai, or only in these places you have very limited and very small coverage you have. It's going to be your what to say. You want to completely change the entire infrastructure what you have currently now. What do I say as an infrastructure is they are not going to literally change the telephone antennas what they have. No, they are going to install more number of telephone antennas. They are going to add more number of array antennas to the telephone towers. The towers they have to install more so that they have to get more coverage. So they need to install more number of antenna sessions over there in it. Then only they could have large area coverage. Because so far whatever we are going to work with this 5G or this 5G spectrum, I don't know how many of you have heard about the maximum they are going to use. It is a very high frequencies, and the other end is very low rate of your signal, which is your millimeter waves. So millimeter waves or 5G, these elements are very what to say, very feeble. This signal will not even pass through your cloth. If there is a rain, so we are all facing a disturbance in our DTH signals, right? The same way, if there is a rain, we'll not get 5G network. So how we are going to overcome that? So So these are the practical difficulties what you have. So 5G requires a lot of infrastructure development. So we'll see that completely now. 5G is already there in market. 5G is already there in market. So that's the reason I just want to tell you. We all would have seen about 3G network, 4G network, exact 4G. you can't use to the fullest, because the reason is you have to be present where the 4G coverage areas are available. Then only you can use with that. These standards 2G, 3G, 5G. So who are the people who are defining these standards? So if you see, there is a company called as Third Generation Partnership Project, so which is 3GPP. So why this 3GPP has come into picture? So why they are using it in the sense, because now now people started moving around the globe. So in India we have Airtel. I don't think so in China we have Airtel. So I don't think so in US we have Airtel. So in Singapore, or these countries or African countries, or in Japan. So how our mobile phones will work in Sri Lanka, how our mobile phones will work in America. So if you see there, here we have a card where we work. Today I'm traveling to Sri Lanka, or I'm going to Abu Dhabi, or if I'm traveling to England. So I should have the same internet connectivity. I should have the same call features. So that's why you all have these roaming benefits now, where they have a collaboration and they are going to communicate with you how their standards, how our standards will work. So in India, you are working with some frequencies. If you go with US frequencies, you will be working there. So I just want to take it to be the very practical way. I want to give you some very practical examples there, because so that you will understand it very clear. See, Dubai is 3 hours from Chennai to Dubai. It is only 3 hours. Those are all going for work. So many of our relatives who are there in it, whether they work, be there, so they go for some travels or tourists. So we'll go to different places and we'll come, right? So in that place, still we carry our mobiles. So those people, those who are working in Dubai, so who comes to India, still they use their mobiles here. So how their mobile standards are supported here. So it could not be the same make. So it could not be the same company. So for example, if you see Samsung, it's from your Korea. So Korean company who makes it to the Indian standards. So for Korea, they'll have different mobile phones. So for their different standards. For Japan, if you see, if they make a Panasonic, if get here a Panasonic mobiles, or in Hungary if they make China mobiles, if you take it here. So if you see they all do their manufacturing units in India, because they need to get the support hardwares to the standards frequencies what we use here. They cannot use the same components what they use over there with the China market or Japanese standards there. So they need to have a different standards here. So depends upon this area locality, depends upon the ecosystem, depends upon the environmental concerns. They are working with different frequencies all over the world. So if you see there, this is the 5G frequencies where these countries are going to work, because these are the frequencies have been approved for their nations. So if you see here, somewhere Europe and India tries to use the same, and somewhere Europe and African telecoms they try to use the same. If you see here, Mexico and United States try to use the same here. So these are all the standards what they try to use, so that you'll have according to their nations. So they try to have the standards allocated there. So now when we have a common operator, so who's a Airtel or who's a Vodafone in Idea, or whether it is a Geo, Yes, so whether they provide the same services when I move around to a different place. So you need to work on the roaming part, or you can switch over to the Sprint, or you can work on Australian Telecom, or you can work on a Qatar Telecom, Nippon Tata Docomo for Japan areas. So it's all depends upon where you use it. See, in Africa we have Airtel. In India also we have Airtel. So they are not going to use the same infrastructures for Africa and India. So they have a different, because their operating frequencies are different, their operating standards are different, so they'll be in a different place. So they use different infrastructure. So this is for your information, where you can use different countries, how they are working on 5G projects there. So that's why these RF modules are region specific. So these are, you need to get proper approval licenses over there. So based on that only you are working in it. So now, to a further extent, I can give you an idea. These are the countries where they are working on 5G. Other places you don't have 5G. So these are the countries they already started working with 5Gs, and they are going to soon come for commercial applications. We are going to come for commercial applications. So now when we come for this particular chart, if you see, this particular chart tells you how many of them have mobile phones, smartphones. Almost only the Africa part is not there, because very few places in Africa they have the smartphones there. So if you see in that, as per the survey over there in 2019, because for us, two SIM cards are not sufficient. So we are going for a one more SIM card. It has only two slots, so we'll go for an additional mobile. Most of us have a two. Every individual, approximately, if you see, minimum two SIM cards they have. So we'll try to use minimum two mobile phones. Almost we'll try to get over there. And in a home, so if we are if we are working professionals, or at least in the current state, husband, wife, now because of these online classes, almost school going kids also, they have their own smartphones or smart devices we have. So now if you see in a house, minimum 3 to 5 mobile phones we have, or a smart tablets or the devices we have in it. So all requires this internet usage and move on. So every house, every individual, one day 2 GB not sufficient. So per day to access per home needs a 10 GB data. So think of 5.7 billion people requires how much data per day to use, and how you are going to solve them. Working to allocate their standards, so that who all can provide support, how they can develop their infrastructure. That's the reason, as I told you, when they are trying to work on different frequencies, when they try to serve these things, we don't have proper infrastructure as of now. So we need to go. So if there are 100 people over there in that, so all the 100 peoples expected to have complete full access without any disturbance for them. So they need to have a complete internet access. So they don't want the streaming videos what they go with. They don't need that buffering time delay over there in it. YouTube advertisement. I don't know how many of you have seen it in YouTube advertisement for 4G, which means if you see there, the mobile phones in a 4G network will not buffer. so you can stream continuously. But nowadays everybody is facing a problem, the 4G streaming, where we have internet discomfort, and we are facing a problem with streaming buffering videos there in it. So because now the requirements or complete video things, and everybody uses a network in the peak hours, we couldn't get the proper internet there. Of 5 to 8 or 9, we will not get a proper internet services. So why the reason? Because where we try to make more number of requests, so more number of people come into it. So if out of 100 member, I am looking for a video request, the other person is going to work on a calls only. So I don't want to give the same band of what to say preferences to both the users. I don't know how many of you can understand it. I'm telling you, I want to concentrate on every individual based on their need. For example, if I need a high bandwidth data for my video streaming request, another person is going to have only a call, then I have to give more preference to the person who has a video request. If a person uses a normal call, I'll give him a less preference. If a person uses a video call, I'll give him a little higher preference. So it depends upon people, I have to serve them. That is what the 5Gs, the standards or the requirement what they made now. Because in 4G it is not there. Whether you get internet or not, nobody is bothered about it. Whereas in 5G, what they are trying to say is, what they are trying to make us, we are going to serve I don't know how many people you have heard these terminologies called as beam forming. So beam forming or beam streaming, which means in simple terms, they used to say it as you turn an internet access, so you turn that antenna towards me so that I'll get the complete bandwidth or complete signal towards me only. It's something that kind of thing. So you need to have your own antenna. So you need to have your own personal access or personal service for you. So how you're going to make it? That's the place where we have this challenges. 5.7 billion people are mobile users around the world in 2019. So now we are going to enter into and how we are going to solve this thing. So about almost these things would have gone up to 6 billion or 6.5 billion there within a year. To work with 5G technologies, why we need this? Because of more number of peoples or more number of elements coming into. So if you see here, 5.7 billion only mobile users. Your 5G project, or I can say it as a 5G network. Because now with the help of 4G, we are trying to work on a IoT platform. We are trying to work on a cloud related applications. We are trying to work on a remote. We are working on a remote classrooms. So we are working on a remote factory. In 5G, think about what are the other things will come into it. So already every individual will be connected to the internet. So that's the reason where we are going for this 5G. Why we need this urge of 5G. I don't think so how many people are following it, because most of the people would have are a button text messaging mobile phones. So if you see a span of time of 5 years or 6 years, almost we have come directly or into the very speed advancement from 2G to 3G, 3G to 4G. Most of the people have not even enjoyed the benefits of 3G. So when we send a message over there in WhatsApp, it immediately delivers, because 3G is very faster when compared to Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is slower than your 3G. 4G is really faster than your Wi-Fi, which means I'm trying to say about your broadband connections. 4G is faster than your broadband home broadband connections. Then think of your 5G there. So most of the people have not even worked on 2G, because by the time when you all have got your camera mobile phones come to the extent of our 2G networks. Do you see over there the timeline what you have been shown here? 1979 for your 1G communications, where you have in and 1991, 1998. If you see in it, most of the people have not even used pager, because the pages have gone, because pages have become a very old device. We all have started our mobile usage from the 3G network only. We have not even struggled with the 2G text, working with 3G mobiles and 4G mobiles only. We almost everybody have started with 3G only, because when the Airtel network or the Idea network have released the 3G and 4G, the time limit is very less. And now the question comes, then why it is taking more time for 4G to 5G? Because 4G actually almost you got it at the end of the 4G research end. So not at the end, the extent of 4G research or the 4G work, India have taken it. The 5G, now the entire world is working on 5G. Even India is also working on 5G. So that's what I could say. So if you get 5G, the entire world will get 5G at the same time, almost. Because now the infrastructure developments are very, very fast. Because in earlier stages, where to get these infrastructures, where we are very, very way behind the other foreign national countries. So that's the reason we couldn't enjoy the benefits of 3G and 4G completely there. So nobody have got 3G SIM card. Now whoever will be the mobile phone users, they'll get only the 4G SIM card. They don't know what are the difficulties they face over there in 3G. Whenever you get a call, you get disconnected by the internet. I don't think so. How many of you have got it? Anybody have this experience? Whenever you get a call, your internet will get disconnected.
Yes, sir, it's happening.
Because these are the things, because you would have seen in your mobile phones, whenever you browse something, you can easily identify that you're going get a call, because your internet will go off. Because the internet lines will cut off over there, because you're not there into the 4G line, you're still there in the 3G. In 3G, you cannot have a call and internet together in it. That's the problem what you have there. So if you want to have your call and internet together, then you want to move on to 4G. So 4G is not only LTE, because even in LTE also you will not get internet along with the phone call. So these are the small things there. Everybody would have faced it. Everybody would have faced it, but it will be very small who have observed it, and you will not understand what are the things that are happening behind it. So we are going to see all these things now. So if you see in it, the 5G research or the 5G reason is everybody wants to be very quick response. Everybody wants to have a comfort. Even if you are not there also, the things has to happen. This is what everybody requirement. This is what every individual now trying to move out. Even if I'm not there also, the things has to work out there. So I'll be concentrating on the other things. So now you have this autonomous vehicles you have. Have these smart robots in the industries what they try to use it. If you see in that, now everything has to be smart. If you see there, where are the places smart street lighting, if you say, nobody has to turn on. To go near to that street light, there will be a turn on control. You will be turning on and turning off. Nobody is going to do that. On. They define there, so all these street lights will be on. Now most of the places they make it as a very smart enough with the solar. After 6 o'clock, it automatically starts. And morning 6 o'clock, it turns off. And if you see in it, so where I need to communicate from one office to the other office, and where I need my bicycle has to communicate to the car, where the car has to communicate to the traffic signal, I have to take a decision. So my car has to communicate with the traffic light and it has to stop on the signal. It should not move ahead. So how I'm going to make? So if I'm working in an industry, a consumer has to find out whether his product has there in the what manufacturing process level, whether it is there in the testing or whether it is there in the designing. Home as a smart. For example, so my heater has a Wi-Fi now. So I'm traveling from an airport. Before I reaches from airport to home, I want to take a bath once I reach home. So I want to turn on my geyser with this particular temperature. Okay, I'll give only the message over there. So it has to connect. It has to work. So how these communications are going to happen? In my home, my geyser, washing machine, everything has to be on before I enter there. So as soon as I go there, I can take a bath. Meanwhile, I can put all my clothes into a washing machine for wash. So I'm not even going to touch. Here. So washing machines which will wash your clothes in a steam to avoid all your germs, to kill all your germs. And the most thing is you will not touch the washing machine. You'll sit in a sofa and you'll turn on washing machine, turn on, so it will turn on over there. So how we are going to get these comfort life? Because where you are going to make. That's the reason why I'm saying not only mobile phone users require 5G. So we are in a large need. Major practical difficulties we have. That's the reason the 5G infrastructure has to be more so that everybody will get the benefits of this 5G there. So now, if you see in it, I think these are the different. I could say the different. I could say the basic requirements to get the 5G spectrum or the 5G network. If you see machine type communications will be available. So when everybody is going to get connected over there, each and every person cannot be available to do that work. So we need the smart machines who can work on IoT based, who can be there in the remote support. So where I'll work on my control station, where I can work on my base station to control the antennas there. So where I can troubleshoot them. So everybody has to be connected internet and everybody has to be interlinked to communicate with it. So enhanced mobile broadband, because now whatever we are going to use with 1.2 Mbps or 1.5 Mbps speed, we are going to get 4 Gbps per second. So which is going to the low latency, because everybody is looking for that. I need a very high speed so that I'll not have any delays in my things. So I'll have a complete 4K video streaming without any delays. What are the minimum things you need to have? So different areas where they're going with. So now this is what we are discussing so far. So in 5G, what are the things they are making? The 3GPP have clearly mentioned, if you are going to work with 5G, it has to reduce your latency in maximum delay to your service provider should be 1 millisecond time delay. Not even a second, it should be a 1 millisecond time delay. So we are all working on a 5G to achieve this 1 millisecond latency there, and we have to increase more number of connectivities, more number of connections. So when you are trying to reduce your latencies with 1 millisecond from the existing, so now obviously you are going to 5G, any device connects to the network, I'll consider it as a 1 unit. So now more number of units will come in. So totally I'll get 10 times higher devices I'll get. So obviously when I get high number of devices, more number of devices, I need more number of bandwidth. I need a very high throughput I need. So it is not going to be only for one person. I'm going to give a 2G range of network for one person. I'm going to give a 5G network with a high speed of download rate and things. No. So when you want to serve 10 times more number of your population, when you are expecting 10 times more number of your devices to be connected, so you're expecting 10 times more number of 100 times of the current you are going to have a traffic, because 100 times you are going to get a traffic over there. So how you are going to eliminate it? So when you are going to eliminate it, so you are going to define more number of elements. So you are going to have a network conjunctions there. So how you are going to solve those problems. So how your networks will be efficient there. So you have to upgrade all your systems. So you're going to upgrade all your systems. So when you're going for an upgrade of systems, so how much the energy consumptions will be. So all these factors will come into picture there. So all these factors come into picture there. So that's the reason these are, excuse me. So these are the major things they are taken into control when you are going for 5G devices. Because I don't know how many of you have faced these problems when you are started working with the smartphones with I could say 1450 milliamps battery. Most of the people when they work with 1500 mAh battery in earlier 3G network, normal calls you can use it for the whole day. If you see videos, you have to recharge your battery every 1 hour or every 2 hours. Your mobile phones will get more number of heat. It emits more heat. So whenever you have a videos, so your batteries will drain fast. So if I go with 5G, in the sense the same 1450 mobiles, I can't even have for 10 minutes then, because I'm going to work with a very high speed of data. I'm going to work on a high range of informations. Then I'll not have anything. So how am I going to work on it? So now you all have got 500 mAh batteries, which has to last long for almost 1 day. Because when they have mentioned 5 mAh batteries, I will not recharge my battery. No, you have to recharge it every half days now. Because you are accessing more number of videos now. You are accessing more number of bandwidth. See, when I say videos or video call, when you see some calls, so if you see there, normal calls or videos buffering, so you're accessing more number of bandwidth, so you're accessing more number of data. So obviously it will be not last for a longer duration, your battery. So when you're working on a 5G network, then your mobile phone battery also has to be improved. Very low energy, so that your battery life should be more. So it is not only for a mobile phone. Think of, if I have my uh, an IoT device, my TV, or my smart what could say a bulb, or I can say a smart washing machine or a fridge, or the other things. So wherever it thinks, either it has to be connected with a power, or if it is there as a wireless, it should have a good battery life. So if you're using Alexa or Google Nest, it should have a proper battery backup, or else 5G will not be supported by that. So that's the reason we need to work on more standards of your battery life there. So you are going to work on massive Internet of Things. So now when you say an IoT house, earlier these terminologies have been said in a different way, smart house projects, or you can say it as cyber physical systems. Now it's all going to be Internet of Things. Internet of Things. So I'll have a smart door. So if I come and stand in front of it, it is going to sense me, it is going to compare my face algorithms, then it is going to open it. So it is going to report it. It is going to give me what authentication. It is going to give me an alarm. There is something going wrong. So how exactly these elements you are going to work? So everything will be Internet of Things. So as I was shown you here, if we have these elements, if we have these elements here, so all each and every element, my mobile phone, car, my industry components, my office printer, and my laptop. So now I am not going to take a printout each and every time when I go near to the printer, I connect over there and work. No. So I'll have a system here. Now my printer will be at my front desk. So I'm going to connect with the Wi-Fi of my office area. So I need to give a printout and it's going to come easily. So each and every devices are there connected with the internet now. So how exactly I'm going to work with it? For that purposes only, so we have a lot of internet devices here in it now. So now when more number of people come in it, obviously I need to have a more number of people to use it. So I need to work on very high throughput, gigabits per second. To work on a very more number of users, then the data download rates I need to control, I need to consider. So if I'm trying to work on these elements, when I'm transferring more number of packets to them, I should control these applications, I should have a very low latency, very slow time delays over there in it. When the systems communicate, both the devices get less than 10 milliseconds, less than 1 millisecond. Then only the communications can happen very faster and I can reduce the error, I can rectify them, I can come back to the normal state where I can work on the completely powered. These are the potential things we need to work on, we need to concentrate, and these are the things where I can say the limitations also. Because to overcome these only, we are all coming up with these new algorithms,